Alrighty, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me tonight for our makeup for your seasons and for the seasons. And um, I'm going to talk a little bit about what does that mean. For those of you that are viewing on Facebook, you can just see my screen and not myself right now. Hopefully, you all can hear me. But my name is Michelle Zemke. I'm a sales director with Mary Kay. And if you have not heard about seasons and what does that all mean, well, you're in luck because I'm going to go through a full view of what all this means and how it can best serve you. And this is kind of going hand in hand with both consultants that are in Mary Kay or just anyone, as well as clients, customers, things like that, because all these tips and tricks are super helpful in your everyday life. For example, the shirt that I'm wearing is in my color wheel for my season of summer, which is why I love wearing it. I got one of these super cool, after I was able to determine my color, I got this super cool little color thing, and it matches that turquoise color right there. But anyways, it is such a fun tool to use. And then once you have that information, I think it makes it a lot easier to figure out your everyday, your clothing, what hair color might look best for you, what makeup should you be using a red, what color red, what shade of red, all the things like that is why it's important to know your season so that you can feel the utmost confidence when you're walking out. I don't know about you, but you know when you like have the dress that's just like perfect and then your hair looks good and your makeup looks good, like that's how I want you to feel every single day. And you can do that just by starting with your seasons. And so it brings the utmost confidence in you. But color is the first thing that people notice. So, you can have fancy hairstyle and whatnot, but the color of your hair, the lip color you're wearing, the color of your dress, people are going to notice that first. That's the first thing that your eyes take in. And so, because we are so individually amazing, that also means color can go deep and wide about all of the different tips and tricks that I'm going to share with you. And of course, there are exceptions to the rule. But in Mary Kay, we're always followed by the rule, not the exception. So definitely contact your beauty consultant if you're like, "Ooh, Michelle, I don't know if I fit this category. Like, what works best?" Definitely talk with your consultant. Hence the name of a consultant. She is there to help you figure out your best colors. Because I don't know about you, and especially for someone that didn't really wear makeup before, starting Mary Kay, I had no idea like what colors I should be wearing. I just assumed everyone could wear all the same colors and be fabulous. Wait, that's a lie. Because I do not look good in the same colors that my mom does, who is a redhead, as I do to my sister-in-law who has dark black hair. All different. That means we cannot wear the same colors per se. But tonight I am so excited. And these are just simple rules. I'm not saying these are the end all be all for what you need to know about. But there are some special things. Oh, let me go back to my Zoom. There are some things that are super easy to take advantage of and to figure out for yourself that you necessarily could probably just do on your own every day. So we are going to start. Shout out to some of these amazing ladies right here, Miranda, Heather, Crystal, and Randy, for getting this information together. They are all part of the Mary Kay world. And so I'm going to go through this. We're going to go slowly right here. So this is a super easy chart to follow along with. So your first determination for finding your season is if you have a cool skin tone or a warm skin tone. And ladies, you'll see it, like I don't have any makeup on because I want to show, I'm going to go back and forth with like showcasing my makeup of why things are right or wrong. But the first thing is determining your skin tone. If you're like, "Oh, Michelle, like I don't know, I kind of like go back and forth," or in the summer I get really tan and like me, and then you get warm, and then you get pasty in the in the winter time. We're here to help you with that. So the easiest thing to figure out is if the first question you're going to ask yourself is this: do you look better in gold jewelry or silver jewelry? So you can see right now I'm wearing silver jewelry. I'm a cool girl. Gold does not look great on me. It kind of just washes me out. It blends right in and it does not look good. So this is the first question you're going to ask. Do you look better in silver jewelry or gold jewelry? If you look better in silver, you're cool. If you look better in gold jewelry, you're warm. If you're like, Michelle, I can wear both of those colors, no problemo. Well, you probably lean one way or the other. Don't get me wrong, there are a few exceptions to that rule, especially when it comes to maybe you're a neutral and your skin does not change. It's the same color all throughout the year. You might be more of that neutral range. In that case, more just pick what you we feel most confident in, because I know when I'm wearing my silver dangly earrings and a cute silver necklace, that is the exact same. I feel super confident in that. So as we are going down this super cute chart, text your beauty consultant. She will make sure to get this to you. And also, beauty consultants, this is a great tool to have at our glamour appointments. Speaking of glamour, Mary Kay has a super fun glamour contest going on right now where you and your consultant can earn up to $5,000 on a Visa gift card plus, like, I think it's $500 with Mary Kay. So that's awesome. Okay, so we're gonna follow down this chart right now. So I'm gonna follow the cool girls real quick because I am cool. So I am in this nice and pasty color right here. And I have blonde hair. Now, as you can see, depending on whether you're blonde hair, brunette, gray, silver, you might have to determine just based on your eye color where this comes down to. So I'm cool and I have blonde hair. Now my mom, she looks I'm going to just use her as an example. I wish she was sitting next to me so I could use her as an example. But if she's more this warm skin tone right here, and she has red hair. So right on cue, this brings her down to whether she's in autumn, spring, winter, or summer. And so for myself right here, I am a summer. I'm a cool summer is what I call it. So you go back to you're cool. My mom is a warm. She kind of she again she's a little bit of an exception. She's a warm spring rather than a warm autumn. But again, this is just a basis to follow. It's not the end all be all. So type in the comments if you are on Facebook or on YouTube. Let me know what your season is just based on this. And I'm going to stop sharing my screen in just a minute, but let me know. So again, you just follow this dichotomous key, write down cool, blonde, summer. That's myself. So definitely follow along with that. I'm going to stop sharing my screen for a second. Everyone that is on Facebook, I think if I stop sharing my screen, it will stop sharing in general. So I'm not going to do that. But I'll ask a question. Summer. So type in the comments what you are. Oh, that is not going to work, but that's okay. I'll write a comment though real quick. What is your season? So, okay, we are, for those of you on Facebook, you're looking at that. Otherwise, you're looking at me right now. And there will be a recording of this if you're like, oh, I don't know what to be sharing anymore. That's okay. So I'm gonna just do my makeup as I'm talking about this real quick. So if you need to text your Mary Kay beauty consultant, highly do so. If you're like, oh, what does this do? This is our liquid foundation brush and our foundation primer. So foundation primer just helps our makeup stay on longer. Kind of acts like, if you were to like paint your wall, you would spackle and prime first. That's essentially what this product does for your skin, but it also has 15 SPF in it. So you're getting some good sun protection from that as well. So super important. I got this primer on. I'm going to let it sit for just a second. But I recently went to Florida, and I think there's a Zoom setting on right now. But my chest and my face are not the same color right now. I use 50 SPF all over my face. And then I think I use only like 30 or 20 on my chest. So mine are not the same. You might be in the same boat depending on when you're listening to this. Maybe you just got back from vacation and you're like, I am red as a lobster right now. Well, when we are foundation matching, we actually want to go in this neck region because we don't want to base it solely off of our chest. And we don't solely want to base it on our face. Some people I know like do the wrist one, but really you're going to get the best results when you do right here, because also our neck tends to not get a lot of sun and a lot of color there. And so we want to make sure we have one flawless look. And so I like to call these people that are wearing the wrong foundation shade, we call them pumpkin heads in the fall, because they still want to wear like their summer shade, but you can't in the summer once it hits like October, because you're not the same color anymore. So it's super important, match from down here. And so I'm just going to take three of our foundations. Now, if you don't know what foundation you are, that's okay. And I'm going to do my best of like sharing this on the screen because sometimes it can be a little hard. But I'm going to explain it. So these three foundations probably look real close to you guys. All the same shades, right? Well, they are not. This is beige 170. This is beige W180, and this is beige W190. So I'm just going to stripe them on the back of my hand real quick just to show you the difference between them. So if you are a cool girl, you're going to start with the C. So fun fact, if you're on our Mary Kay website and you do the Flawless Foundation quiz, this is what helps narrow it down. This is also a good tidbit for your consultants. So the C means cool. So again, these are not my shades, so they're going to look a little wonky, but I'm just going to go cool, warm, and then neutral. And these are all within the same family. They're right up, right one after another. Yep, 170, 180, and 190. But they're going to look crazy different, which is why it's super important to know your colors. So I'm going to awkwardly show my arm right here. So I'm using our matte foundations on here. And this top one is cool. This one is warm and this one is neutral. So right off the bat, you can already see these cooler undertones right here with it. I mean, this blends fairly well. But it's a lot lighter than the other two, even though they are right in order. And personally, when I look at this, the warm right here is warmer than the neutral. That's the difference between these three. Again, they're all right in a row. So if you're ever at like, if you're ever doing our foundation or you're just shopping online and you're like, oh yeah, like I'm definitely a 160, maybe a 170. Probably not, because you need to base it off of that cool, warm, and neutral section. I have a lot of people that are always like, oh yeah, I'm between a 120 and a 130. And I'm like, those are very different colors. There's a W in front of that one. You're not going to look the same. Because I definitely can't pull off the warm. Sometimes I can pull off the neutral, but most of the time I stick in that cool region. So super important to know whether you're cool, warm, and neutral. So that goes back to that same quick situation that we talked about earlier. We're figuring out what hairstyle, or excuse me, what your hair color is, if you're cool or warm, silver, gold jewelry, all of that helps to determine what foundation shade you are. And again, I'm not saying that you need to wear full glamour all the time. It's not like I do or anything like that. I work from home most days, so most of the time that's what my face looks like. But it is super important just to know so that you are feeling the most utmost confidence when you are out and about. So that does not translate to our CC creams. So if you've used our CC creams before, they are not the same. So CC creams are a whole different thing. But just one thing to note, and especially about foundation. So cool undertone, or no, that's wrong. Yeah, cool undertones. What are cool undertones? So if you're more pinky, like you can see that I am right now, that's a cool undertone. A more warm undertone is more of a yellow or tan. And neutral is kind of like that in between. So that's an undertone that has to do with your skin. What are overtones? Overtones are your eyebrow color, your hair color. There are things that maybe you personally change, unlike what we can with our undertones of our skin. So if this isn't I was just listening to a training. If this isn't your God-given hair color, that's okay. But when we're doing a foundation matching and when we're doing a color quiz like this, it is so important to take into consideration what your hair color is, because you might fall. I'm going to share my screen once again real quick, because if you change your hair color, you could, and you're cool and you're like, oh, I'm going to go blonde and now I'm going to go silver. I know that's like a big thing right now. You might change to a winter just based off that decision of your hair color. So again, if you're someone that switches your hair color pretty often, you might want to have a little bit of room in your closet, especially with all these different colors. So just keep that in mind. Oh, there's my share screen. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and put on some foundation, and I am using Cool One C110 right now. because I like it just a little bit lighter because I am very pink right now, and that's okay. And our liquid foundation comes in matte and luminous. So that one is really dependent on your personal preference. There's no right or wrong answer for that. I will say, I know sometimes um, as we get older, we tend to want more of a luminous look than a dewy look. And that is, or excuse me, those were the same. We tend to want a more luminous look rather than a matte look, and that's totally okay. Leslie is washing me out. I'm going to turn it back a little bit. So, quick, easy foundation. And I'm just going to go through this super simple. I'm going to start with my lips because I think that makes the most crazy difference, and you're going to see why. Because Mary Kay has a ton of lip colors, which I love that we get to choose from that. But that also means we want to make sure we're wearing the right shade. So I always think it's easiest to start with a red, excuse me, because it makes the most amount of difference. So like I said, I am a cool summer. So like the opposite would basically be like a warm autumn. Um, so I'm gonna grab a warm autumn red, which doesn't really exist, but we're going to use Sunset Peach for this example. So this color is very, it's an orangey. It's a beautiful color if you are in the autumn look. So I'm just going to kind of do like a comparison of what it looks like, what not. This is the wrong color for me versus what should be in my color wheel. So I've never been able to wear this color. It looks crazy on me, right? And so I'm going to share another one. A little different. Okay, so I know these are not the same colors, but I just want to showcase to you. So in this hand, I have Sunset Peach. In this hand, I have Red Smolder. You know what? I'll do a different red real quick. We're gonna do Poppy Please, just so I can show you the difference between them. Okay, so if we're looking at these reds, you're like, what is the difference between this? Obviously, one's way more brighter. So this is Poppy Please, and this one's Red Smolder. Now, the key difference here is if you're warm or cool. This is for our warm girls right here. It is more orangey, it is more red. Those are the undertones of this lipstick. So this is gonna look good for our warm girls. So our golden girls right here. But if you are more like me and you're a cool girl, then you will want Red Smolder because it has more of a blue purple undertone. It's not as dark, or excuse me, it's not crazy dark, but it's also not super bright red, which tends to fall under the category of those warmer colors. So I'm gonna grab my tissue and just take that off for a second. But I will throw Red Smolder on. And you're probably like, is that even in your color wheel? It is because it has that deeper blue undertone. And if you're like, Michelle, none of this makes sense, that's okay. That's what your beauty consultant is here to do. But these are not my go-to colors. Now, would I wear this bright red with this bright turquoise as well? Probably not, but that's okay. I'm just here to show you, like if you take just my head up, that looks way better. I guess I can kind of do that. Like if you just look at my head, it looks way better than it did with Sunset Peach because Sunset Peach is nowhere near where I'm supposed to be. So that is the same that holds true with pinks. So I'm going to go through a few pinks with you as well. So we'll do the example of a spring pink versus a summer pink. So I'm going to get my micellar water since now I have red lipstick on. And this also goes through with our, hold on, thinking, lip liners. So most of the time people just like the lip liner that is closest to the color that they're getting, which is very understandable. But sometimes we got to think outside the box and make sure that we are just getting a color that also works for us in general. So I'm gonna pull some pinks real quick out of my collection. And so what do I want to do? Do that one. This is summer. So these are my top two. Okay, so the last one that I showed you, I did a spring. Let me do a, oh no, I guess that's in both. Okay, and sometimes these colors can overlap. So don't feel like it's again, a one all be all, but now you know, I got red lipstick on my inside of my lip. There you go. So I'm gonna show you another version of pink. So this is probably my best-selling top two lipsticks that I have. And one is Raspberry Ice. This is Raspberry Ice. And this is Love Me Pink. Love Me Pink, yes. So again, you kind of see. So for this one, it's a little bit tricky because at first glance, you're like, oh, that's like a warmer color. Yes, it is. But that also means it has more of a red undertone compared to this, where it has more of a blue undertone. So when you put them side by side, you can tell that. But like if you were just looking online, you might not be able to see that. So I'm going to put the wrong shade on. I'm going to put Raspberry Ice on. So for me, Raspberry Ice is just too red for my lips. Like, don't get me wrong, it's not a bad color. It's actually one of my top selling colors because people love this color. It is a great color. But when it comes to being a summer, which I am, that's not the color for me. It has too much red in it for me to be comfortable in. So again, I'm going to take my micellar water. Micellar water is amazing for taking off all of our makeup. And why did I start with lips? Because we have a few other things to go through. But again, like I said earlier, color is the first thing that your eye takes in. And so we want to make sure that we have a good lip color. I don't know about you, but I always feel 1,000,000 times more confident when I have a good lip color. Putting some foundation back on. And so this is Love Me Pink. So it's lighter. It's more natural for me. It complements, like you can see, like my eyes look better. So again, that's why it's so important to go through these. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen real quick. And again, your consultant has access to all of this information. So I'm going to bump back up here real quick. The great thing, oops, I think I'm frozen. 1 second. There we go. So the great thing about this is this tool for consultants, I guess I'm freezing a little bit, has our, I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing. I lied. Let's see if this is going to come back. Let me stop my screen for a second. Bear with me, everyone. Okay, let's try that again. Okay, I'm back. I'm going to stop my Facebook. If you're watching on Facebook, so sorry, I'm going to end that and post the recording. I think that's what's not allowing me to do much. Okay, we are back in action. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. So these are all the different lip colors that we have. Now, again, you might get overwhelmed if you're looking in the catalog or whatnot because we have hydrating, we have matte lipsticks, we have shiny lipsticks, we have lip glosses, we have lip liners. But again, this is what I just went through. A spring lip is a Raspberry Ice rather than a Love Me Pink. I'm a Love Me Pink. I feel very good in this color. I think it might have been like the first color I bought off of Mary Kay because I thought it was the best color in the entire world, and it is. But if you're more autumn, you're gonna stick with those colors. So like Sunset Peach, the first one that I wore, is an autumn and a spring. Because if you look at this chart, autumn and spring complement each other as well as summer and winter. So the opposites always complement each other. So they're not going to be the exact same because again, that is based on our undertones. But it does fall into the same categories. So as we bump down this list right here, I'm just going to go ahead and say we are before disclaimer. I'm gonna share a photo real quick. Um, Disclaimer, we are getting rid of we're gonna do some color refining in our Mary Kay realm of colors. So with that being said, before I go any further, we will have some phase outs, unfortunately. If these are some of your favorites, text your beauty consultant. Make sure to get those colors from her before September 15th, because that's when they start to phase out. Now, that's not to say that they won't ever come back with them. We have plenty of colors in our color line. Like I think we had 12 blushes and we're getting rid of 4. I think that's pretty darn reasonable. But if these are some of your favorites, definitely stock up with her. Text your consultant. So with that being said, some of this information, depending on when you're watching this or watching the recording, you might need to change that. Or this will be updated shortly when we know the new colors. So spring eyes. Now, the great thing about this is if I get texted, if I get a text from someone, and they're like, oh, Michelle, can you build me an eyeshadow palette? Because people they want to have the customization. They want to make sure that, they get to choose what they want to choose, but they also want to consult with someone. That is part of our jobs, is to make sure that we are giving the best advice to you as the consumer. And so, someone that has brown eyes, I'm not going to recommend mahogany to. But I'm definitely going to recommend them to Cinnabar. Slight differences like that. So these are just some of those spring eye and cheek colors. And again, there are exceptions to the rule. Does everyone look good in hot coral? Maybe not so much, but it does fall in your spring color wheel. If you're more of a summer, this is going to go well with your summer. I know all those purples might be going away, but summer eyes, especially for green eyes. If you talk about color theory at all, color theory is really great. I'll pull up a graphic real quick, because it. Okay, let me pull it up real quick so I can best explain it. But it totally determines what looks the best. So if you have green eyes, then purples are going to be your complementary color. If you are, I'm not photographic right now, but if you have brown eyes, then more greens are going to look good. So that mossy and emerald color. If you have blue eyes, more of these neutral colors from the autumn. Now, again, it's totally dependent on the person. So these are just some good, rules of thumb for this as you're going through and you're like, oh yeah, I'm a winter, like, duh, desert rose looks good on me. That's why I feel so confident when I'm doing my blush, things like that. But again, chat with your beauty consultant. And the great thing about having a beauty consultant is that she can show you what looks best on you. So you can build your entire customized palette. So I'm going to do a quick eyeshadow demo just with a few colors that look good as a summer. I'm not going to dive like too crazy deep in, but maybe I'll do one eye. One eye is this and one eye is another one. So I know I'll be wrapping up in just a few minutes. Thank you guys for all bearing with me, but I just wanted to I just hope you know how important it is to find your color. Not necessarily, obviously the first thing key is making sure you have a good skincare routine. That is the main focus, of course, because you can't have beautiful makeup if you don't have a good canvas to start with. So if you struggle with something, that is what our skincare is here to help. If you don't struggle with anything, you just need a good skincare routine in general. And so it's super important making sure you're taking care of your skin. Your skin is the largest organ in/on your body, and you want to make sure that you are treating it well with good skincare. That's what's going to help make your glamour look elevated. So I'm gonna grab a few things. So first off, I just want to share, if you've never seen it, this is our Pro palette. I don't have a ton of stuff in here right now, but these are all customized to my look. So I have my cream foundation, my powder foundation, my bronzer, my highlighter, my blush. That looks good with me. This one is think this one's Hint of Pink or Hint of Pink. I don't know. I'm drawing a blank right now. And then these are some eyeshadows that look really good on me. So I'm going to go through them real quick. And then I'll do one that is not in my color wheel, and you guys can tell me the difference between it. This also holds true with eyeliners. So if you, sorry, I'm getting a little sniffly right now. I have my fan on in front of me. But if you are someone that doesn't like black eyeliner, try our brown eyeliner, try our steely eyeliner, because it makes such a difference. If you don't want your lines to look so harsh, then you definitely want to try out a good eyeliner that helps complement all of your colors. So we're going to go ahead and get started with some of these. So I'm going to go ahead and start with a hazelnut base on my eye. And again, completely customized to what you want to do. Hazelnut is just here, I'll share my screen so you guys can see the colors that I'm talking about. So I'm going to start with hazelnut right up here. And I really like hazelnut. Again, I'm just doing this on one eye, and then I'll do another set of colors on my other eye. My personal favorites is to take the purples. And I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take, I'll take Sweet Plum. That's the darker of the purples. And I just go in the crease in my eye and go up. So I kind of make this like V at the end of my eye. And as you can see, I blend inwards. And then I'm going to take Frozen Iris and just go in the crease of my eye right here. Give it some more definition. And then I always like to add a little bit of sparkle. Who doesn't? So I'm going to take a bit of Candlelight and tap it. So I used 4 eyeshadow colors. I know for some of you, you're like, I will never ever be able to use 4 eyeshadow colors ever, but you can, I promise you. I just did in like 5 seconds. And so like, if you look at this side of my face, awesome, right? Super easy, super quick. It brings out this eye color. I don't have anything on the other eye, but I'm going to use the wrong colors for this next one. So I'm going to go I'm going to do an autumn look. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and I'm going to go with maybe some darker colors, even though Sweet Plum falls in both an autumn and a summer, and that's okay. And I'm going to go ahead and use Biscotti as my base, which is a little bit lighter. And let's see, I'm going to go with Starry Night. Starry Night is a beautiful color. I love this color. It is not in my season, but it is very pretty. So again, I'm doing the same exact tactic, going in this corner, doing my best to blend inwards. We'll fix anything we need to at the end. And let's see, with Starry Night, I'm going to do some burnished bronze, another really good color. And again, Candlelight is in this, so I am going to use Candlelight in the middle. And then, okay, so I'm going to go ahead, stop sharing my screen for just a second so you guys can see the difference. So on this side, I have that autumn look. Maybe I'll get a little bit closer. So on this side, I have the autumn look. It's a little bit, it's darker. I always think my eye color looks different if I do this, like two different colors. Maybe I'm crazy, but all this to say, it's totally depends on your color. Now, can I wear this and look good in it? Absolutely. But this side, I think helps elevate my eye. I think this side looks more droopy. But again, it's not set in stone. Definitely figure out what your color is. I know just from looking at myself in this video, I'm like, oh yeah, this color looks way better. So again, it's super important to figure out what looks best for your colors. And all this to say, go talk to your beauty consultant. This is her job, is to help you feel the utmost confidence, and you can completely customize Again, I showed you our Pro palette. This is our, oh, not that one. That one's dirty. Let's see, do I have something in this one? Okay, 1 second. Let me grab one more palette. But we have three different kinds of palettes. We have a perfect palette. Okay, this just has an old product in it. This is our perfect palette. It's probably the number one selling palette that I sell. So I'm just going to give you an example of like what would a palette look like for an everyday person. And again, I am definitely going with a perfect summer look because that is what I am. And my eyes are between like green and hazel. So again, these are completely customizable to you. But you can, this is that perfect palette that I just held up, and I mean, you could put 12 eyeshadows in here if you wanted to, but just as a good everyday, like touch up palette or things like that, you can get a blush, a highlighter, 6 eyeshadows. Brown eyeliner looks best with blue eyes and green and hazel eyes and brown eyes because you're in the summer shade. Now if you're in autumn but you have brown eyes, then black eyeliner is going to look best. If you are a winter and have blue eyes, oh my gosh, Steely looks fabulous with anyone with like bright blue eyes. So highly recommend the Steely to that. But it totally depends. Text your beauty consultant, make sure that she knows that you want to customize your look. Because it's just here to help you make yourself feel the most confidence while you're out and about. And again, these colors, I'm going to share the top one real quick again. But as we talked about with these summer, winter, spring, and autumn colors, these are colors right here, like how it says light, soft, cool, deep, and clear. Like these are colors that you want to wear as well. This does not just apply for makeup. So if you're like, well, I'm not saying like go buy a bright red t-shirt, but I am saying, if you're a winter, you want to stick to those deeper tones, and that goes with your shirt. That might go with your hair as well. So just take all those things into consideration. I hope you enjoyed your lesson of makeup for your seasons. If you have questions, text your beauty consultant. But thank you again for joining me.